This is the Candid Minicast. Welcome back, everyone, and thanks for tuning in. I've often spoken in the past about how I refuse to be one of those people who will always spread the blame evenly when people have a disagreement, and I will continue to stick to that principle. However, I do feel this whole recent debacle involving Joey Swoll is one of those rare situations that does warrant the blame being spread around to all parties involved, so to speak. For those of you who don't know who Joey Swoll is, he's a famous bodybuilder / social media influencer whose main goal is getting rid of toxic gym culture and making it a safe space for everyone to work out in, no matter what you look like. Joey Swoll often blasts gymfluencers who post videos of themselves working out in the gym while at the same time making fun of random people in the background so that said gymfluencer can get some cheap clicks, likes, and attention. Joey does sometimes comment on videos that wannabe influencers post of themselves being buttholes to people outside the gym as well, but most of his content focuses on gym culture specifically. Anyway, Joey Swoll recently came under fire and faced some backlash for multiple reasons, and it all centered around former WWE icon Hulk Hogan and his recent unexpected passing. And if you don't know who Hulk Hogan is, then I can't help you out on that one. Joey Swoll made a tribute video where he dressed like the Hulkster and took pictures posing as him in the gym because Hulk Hogan was Joey Swoll's childhood idol, just like millions and millions of other people in America. Well, little did Mr. Swoll know that he was going to enrage a bunch of his followers who blasted him for celebrating a terrible person such as Hulk Hogan due to some racist remarks Hulk Hogan was secretly recorded making many years ago. Apparently, there were some other terrible things that Hulk Hogan did, but the racist stuff seemed to be the main issue. Joey initially defended his Hulk Hogan tribute by making a video stating that essentially everyone makes mistakes in life and explaining why he wasn't going to blast Hulk Hogan like everybody else was. But during his apology, Joey made yet another goof up by stating that anyone who has a problem with Joey needs to go after all of the colored people who were also making tributes to Hulk Hogan as well. This ended up making matters worse because now not only was Joey defending a quote racist, but also using quote racist words himself. Joey eventually made a follow-up video apologizing for his Hulk Hogan tribute, citing all of the terrible things Hulk Hogan has done that Joey wasn't aware of, and for Joey using the word colored to describe black people because it's considered offensive. But unfortunately for Joey, it was too little, too late. Apparently, the internet mafia had already doxed Joey's personal info. He started losing followers left and right, and everyone was in full cancel mode over this entire situation, which caused Joey to take a brief leave of absence from social media. Now that you're caught up on all the drama, I'm going to break down how everyone is wrong in this scenario and needs to be accountable in this entire situation, with everyone being Joey Swoll, race baiting blacks and white Wokies, and even some weak-ass fake tough conservatives as well. I'll start out with the man, Mr. Joey Swoll himself. First off, sorry blacks and Wokies, but Joey Swoll was not wrong for giving a tribute to Hulk Hogan. Joey did make a good point in that people all across America, both black and white, were sending thoughts and prayers to Hulk Hogan and his family. So how was Joey Swoll wrong, but everyone else was right? Hulk Hogan said some things that he regretted years ago and has since apologized for. Yet y'all still want to bring that up? How many of the gangster rap hip hop clowns out there that you Negroes listen to have racist lyrics against white people in their rhymes or have said negative things about whites? Yet that doesn't stop you from listening to their music, now does it? Yeah, I thought so. Sit down and shut up, all of you. It's not like Joey was sending tributes to Adolf or someone truly terrible like that. If that happens, then you can give me a call. Otherwise, this Hulk Hogan thing is a non-factor. With that being said, I will tell you where Joey Swoll was wrong. First, I do agree that Joey using the word colored people was incorrect, and plenty of black people do still find that term offensive to a degree, including myself. I've usually heard it in the past from much older people who don't necessarily know any better. It didn't make them racist, just uninformed. Blacks, African Americans, or even minorities are perfectly acceptable terms, but the words colored people just doesn't sit well with most blacks. I've had it said to me, and all I've done is corrected the person and given them the other terms to use instead. Easy peasy done. No need to call Reverend Jesse Jackson or contact the Rainbow Coalition over a simple damn mistake someone made, especially if you knew there was no real racist intent there in the first place. The other place where Joey Swoll went wrong is over apologizing in the first place. Like I said a minute ago, I have zero issues with him making a tribute to Hulk Hogan, so there was no need to apologize for that at all. All Joey needed to do is give a quick, "My bad, I know now, so I'll fix that moving forward," when he was told about the colored people comment, and he could have kept it moving. All these apologies and follow-up apologies, backtracking, etc., were completely unnecessary in my opinion. If you start playing by the mob rules, then you'll be a slave to them and their whims for the rest of your life. Sometimes you just gotta stand your ground on certain things and take the good with the bad. You'll never be liked by everyone, and the minute you start tailoring your actions to please every single person's triggers, then you're no longer you anymore. It's getting to the point now where if you're, quote, famous, people will research any and everything you like, find something bad about it, and try to crucify you for the sins of someone or something you literally had nothing to do with. Sometimes apologies are necessary, but other times you just need to stand your ground and tell people to screw off and get over it, which is exactly what I think Joey should have done here. Moving on, I'll go after the race-baiting blacks and Wokies next. Two of my favorite groups to debate with, but not really. Simply put, the blacks and the Wokies were the most wrong in this entire situation for doing what they're always trying to do, which is cancel everyone over everything. As I said a few minutes ago, black people had a right to be a bit annoyed at the term colored people when Joey said it. But the worst thing that should have happened was that Joey got corrected, allowed to say, "My bad, I'll use the correct terms in the future," and then move the hell on with his life. All you weak blacks and Wokies trying to bring up something from Hulk Hogan's past that he apologized for and cancel Joey Swoll over it absolutely disgust me. You all are the most arrogant and self-righteous people walking the earth. You never make mistakes. Your ish doesn't stink, and you've never messed up, not even once in your entire life. Somehow blacks and white Wokies have become the moral compass of the United States, and any person who says or does anything that doesn't exactly comply with black or Wokie beliefs instantly goes to the top of the cancel list. And you weaklings do every single thing in your power to ruin that person's credibility and make their lives as miserable as humanly possible. Let's throw the Hulk Hogan stuff out the way for a minute. You're literally trying to cancel a man who has helped black people out in the past and never shown a shred of racist behavior before in his life over him using the term colored people. Colored people, not darkies, coons, mud ducks, the N-word, or something just blatantly racist, but the words colored people, which, as I said, is a bit of a borderline word, but not something flat out racist, and certainly not being used in a racist context when Joey Swoll said it. Like I said a few minutes ago, especially when it comes to black people, y'all don't have any issues with making fun of white people and calling them corny for not being down with ignorant, ghetto, and foolish hip-hop culture, or not inviting them to your busted-ass cookout simply because they're not black. You can make fun of white people for being uncoordinated, not having rhythm, automatically assume they run slow, and everything else in between, and that's okay. Blatant racism towards whites is totally fine. We're good there. But a white person using a borderline incorrect term in a completely non-racist setting is just absolutely reprehensible, deplorable on the highest level, and deserves the harshest and most extreme measures to be taken ASAP. If all the colored people and their wokey white friends put more of their energy into fixing the black community and black culture, we'd be too busy thriving and progressing to even blink an eye at stupid mess like the Joey Swoll comment. But who am I fooling? We all know that being called a colored person is what's actually holding the black man down. So let's rally together and fight against that word instead of focusing on the bigger issues instead. I already have quite a few podcasts on this subject, so please go check those out because I need to move on before I end up adding this minicast to that list. Finally, I'm going to address some of the weak-ass, fake tough conservatives out there who probably are actually racist. Y'all need to go sit down somewhere and shut up too. Just as much as I hate race-baiting blacks and white wokies, I hate some of you fake tough / racist conservatives as well. Anytime something that could be considered racist is said by a white person, you're always the first people to defend what was said and claim their words, just get over it. I've already stated that Joey Swoll definitely didn't mean anything racist by using the term colored people, and that he did not deserve to be canceled over it. With that being said, the term is still considered a borderline phrase with us black people, and Joey simply needed to be corrected on the right term to use, give us a quick my bad, and be allowed to move on with his day. I'm sick and tired of some of you weak, white, borderline racist conservatives trying to defend anything that offends people, yet you don't want to eat your own dog food. All you're doing is secretly masking your racist beliefs and trying to sweep it under the "stop getting offended so quickly" rug. But that ish doesn't fly with me. Do I agree that people get offended over too many things nowadays? Absolutely. But I also believe that we live in a damn civilized society with rules, and an established code or standard of living, and that certain things should and always will be considered offensive. Again, too many of you are taking cues from your orange God who has made it acceptable to lie and be flat out offensive to people and then just call you more names if you speak out against it. You all have the minds of a kindergartner and you behave like complete functional idiots. You're all soft as Charmin, particularly the men. Since names don't mean anything, okay, cool. From now on, I'm going to address your wives and daughters as B words and C words directly in front of your face and see how long you tough guys sit there and take it before you blow a gasket and threaten to pull one of your little one-shot derringers out and try to plug me over it. Once again, yeah, I thought so. As long as the shoe was on the other foot, all is fair. But let me start disrespecting your little white hooded queens or talking bad to your daughters, and you'd be ready to string me up just like the good old days. So in reality, you're just as much of a snowflake as you're trying to make everyone out to be. So shut up, get out of my face, and go back to your little meetings at night in the woods. You're just trying to justify racist and bad behavior because your God has made it cool to do so, and because that behavior is only celebrated when it goes one way. And I know most of you will bring up me letting Hulk Hogan slide for his racist remark, but the biggest difference there is that A, that was a long time ago, and B, he apologized. Hulk Hogan didn't just sit there and say, you know what, brother, you're just gonna have to deal with me saying the N-word and stop being a snowflake, brother. That's not how it went down at all. So we can shut your little argument down right there. I've watched plenty of clips of a white comedian named Quinn Dale, and he makes racial jokes about blacks all the time, and they're hilarious as hell. I'd never want to see that guy canceled because he's able to make his jokes without using racially offensive words or completely going there, so to speak. So again, I have no issue with certain things being said given the context, which is why I said Joey Swoll just needed a quick correction on the proper terms to use when referring to blacks, and we move on. However, that doesn't give all white racists out there the green light to start saying whatever the hell they want to with no consequences either. Especially when we know your true intention wasn't a simple mistake or mix-up like what happened with Joey Swoll. And I think that just about covers everyone. All targets have been acquired, and the strikes were executed against them successfully. So let's wrap this thing up. I have no earthly idea where this society is going or how we're going to be able to survive the next 1,000 or hell, even 100 years. People are no longer allowed to make even basic mistakes without the angry mob jumping on them and literally trying to ruin their entire lives. It's actually pretty sad when you think about how worthless some people's lives are that they essentially sit up all day on their computers waiting for someone to slip up just so that these social justice warriors can gleefully attempt to end yet another person's livelihood. It really is pretty weak and pathetic if you think about it, especially in a situation like this where everyone involved shared some of the blame for escalating this entire scenario into something way bigger than it should have been. Obviously, I'm not asking everyone to excuse blatant bad behavior or to support racism or bigotry in any form or fashion, but it really does disgust me how we've become a society that worships the bad people who occasionally do good, and then tear down the good people who may occasionally slip up and do something bad. I've said it a million times that we live in a bizarro world where everything is completely backwards. People have totally abandoned the 3 C's: common sense, compassion, and critical thinking. And this Joey Swoll situation clearly highlights how things in this world aren't getting better. They're only getting worse. Before you know it, we're all going to be living the Mad Max or Walking Dead life for real, minus the zombies. And all the people that help contribute to society's downfall will, as usual, be the first ones wondering, how the hell did we get here? As always, if you're listening in on YouTube, I appreciate a like, a subscribe, or you leaving a comment. I'm continuing to try to bring you great content, and I hope that you enjoy the kind of podcast that I'm bringing to you. Thanks for listening in. I will catch you on the next one.